Release the Kraken!
So on May 20th, Warner Brothers, Zack Snyder, and HBO Max made a big announcement, the culmination of kind of a crazy 3-year process. Now, the quick rundown here is back in 2017, Zack Snyder was doing his follow-up to Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, the Justice League. He had apparently gotten as far as some assembly cuts to show off and test with how executives were feeling. And then upon the suicide of his daughter, depending on whose story you believe, Zack Snyder and Deborah Snyder decided to step down so they could focus on their family, which was an absolutely understandable situation. And there are, claims that really the studio saw this as an opportunity to force them out. It's probably, the truth is probably a little somewhere in the middle, but Snyder handpicked Joss Whedon to go in and finish the film. Now, Whedon followed studio mandates because he was a hired gun, and ended up making sure they had a shorter movie, 2 hours or less. The movie was lightened up, and they did a lot of different stuff. Reaction was, well, from the Snyder side of things, for fans of Snyder, it was an abomination. I don't think the movie's an abomination. I think Justice League is okay. It's not great, and I was more than ready to just move on to see what they could do to salvage things. And Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Shazam all seemed like good starts to that. I would add the Harley Quinn Birds of Prey film. These were all good starts to doing what I think should have been their game plan all along. They were trying to pull off some big stuff without really doing a lot to earn what they were trying to do. The Snyder films, people keep pointing to what they were trying to do, but they never succeeded. There was no weight behind them because Snyder took shortcuts. And the studio was taking shortcuts. But that said, for the past 2.5 or so years, Release the Snyder Cut has been a hashtag and beacon of people who are very angry on the internet. Now, there were plenty of people that were arguing there is no movie and it'll never be released. Give it up, you sad chuds. And so those people are having to eat some crow right now. But a lot of us looked and said, I don't think a Snyder Cut exists. Just because he showed rolls of films, in a tweet, doesn't tell us that the movie itself, that a Snyder Cut exists. That tells us they have film. There's no movie that was really pretty much ready to go. But maybe it will eventually get released in some form. Maybe the rough cut would get released as a special feature on a special edition set or something. And I'm just going to be straight with you. We were right. There is no Snyder Cut. A Snyder Cut does not exist. A rough cut is not a director's cut. A rough cut is part of the typical process, and rough cuts generally don't get released. And when they do, it's usually just kind of as a bonus feature. It's not something that supplants anything because it's not really the vision that the director had. In fact, in some cases, a rough cut getting released is the studio's idea, the studio's version. But we also know there is not a true Snyder Cut because we're not going to see this film until 2021. Almost a year before it debuts. And they don't even know how it's going to debut. It might be a 4-hour film. It might be broken down into like a 4-episode special, which seems weird to make it a, why not make the Snyder Cut Justice League Part 1, Justice League Part 2? I don't know. It just seems weird to me to break it into 4 individual episodes. Like it's The Mandalorian or something. And you add to that, it's going to cost them between $20 to $30 million, which is a fair amount of money, to complete his cut, to actually make the Snyder Cut a reality. He will get to finish his effects. He will get to add audio dubs. He will get to get some music recut and recued. He will be able to basically give us a complete, nice looking film. It won't be like, and here's an animatic for a scene he wanted to do, but they never got to film. It's what he has for film is what he gets to work with. Apparently, Snyder pushed for reshoots. According to the Wrap, he wanted to do reshoots with the primary actors, and Warner Brothers said, "Oh, no, step back." This is them going, "This could help us build our subscriber base. Let's get this out there. It's probably good enough for that." This is just a studio deciding they can put a little bit of money to have a special edition film added to their roster on their streaming service. I'm going to watch it. I'll definitely watch it because I'm fascinated by alternate cuts and I want to see what his version looked like. I don't care enough to have ever tweeted that it be released because I knew there was nothing finished there. But I'm excited. It sounds like it means more screen time for certain characters like Cyborg. I'm thrilled for them. It'll be interesting to see if some of this includes payoff from some of the stuff he had in Batman v Superman, even though I think that is not a very good movie. But of course, as soon as they announced this, the goalposts for the hashtag SnyderCut people started to shift, and now you'll see people trying to claim that, oh, this is a test run to bring him back. No, it's not. This is a one-time opportunity. The Batfleck movie exists in the sense that it is now the Pattinson movie. It's the same director who was going to direct it when it was Ben Affleck as Batman. They're not going to suddenly out of nowhere come up with a whole new Batman movie to star Ben Affleck. That's just not... I don't see that one happening at all. This isn't going to become the definitive cut for anyone outside of the hashtag SnyderCut people. They're the only ones that are going to see this as definitive. The rest of us are going to go, oh, well, that was interesting, and move on with our lives. Kudos to Zack Snyder, who saw an opportunity and played the hashtag SnyderCut people like a violin to get Warner Brothers to give him the opportunity to go back and do something a lot of directors don't often get to do. That's impressive. So those are my thoughts. I'll watch it. I don't think it's the crushing victory. The only people who have to eat crow are people who actually said that the movie would never get released. I thought it could get released. I just knew that there wasn't an actual cut that could be released now without being just a abysmal, unwatchable anomaly. This movie has a year of work ahead of it. And we'll see how it turns out. I think ultimately what we're going to have is 2 mediocre Justice League films, and one of them's 4 hours long. I've seen Zack Snyder movies. I know the guy's work. It's not going to be a hidden work of genius that was kept from us. So feel free to like and subscribe. You can find me at my site, trippingthroughgateways.com. You can also find me on Twitter at Tom Wade. I also have a Ko-Fi or Coffee account that you can, if you feel like it, maybe you want to send some money my way so I can get the subscription to HBO Max. I don't know. But until next time, have a great day.